Ha! Hello, my friends! It is I, Alphinius Goo, and this is Goo Morning Zyathé, with Camera Mandy behind the camera. Say hello, Camera Mandy.
Hello.
Ha! It is good to see you, my friend. I hope you are doing great. I see you and your hatters were quite active this morning in the gooey den of enlightenment. There was much hatting activity going on, yes.
I mean,
Marcus.
I can't help it that people want to see you in a hat. They want it desperately.
Yes, well, you can see, you get hat hairs, and I, of course, have tried to keep myself stylish, right, as best as I can be, yes. A little Brill cream or something like that, yes. Well, I don't even know if anyone even knows what Brill cream is. Anyway, Camera Mandy wanted me to do a little introduction, so I'm going to make sure I do that. We're excited about this little stream this morning. We're going to get to have a little interview with Gooey Elle and Gooey Allie, telling all about what's happening behind the scenes at Gooey Cube. So you get to hear about the shipping and Chapter 4 and all kinds of other craziness that's going on right now. We're also, of course, going to do our reading of the Ventenium Alanax, the Chronicles of the Ventenium Alanax, so you can hear a little bit more about what's been going on in the history of the weirded world. Yes, we're also going to talk a little bit about the Sarth. Yes, the Sarth people, who are a marvelous new race here in the world of Zyathé. Hold on, Camera Mandy, I must dab. I wish we could get air conditioning in the studio. Yes, but Camera Mandy is too cheap. She wants to have all of her money for her budget to go to her cameras and lights and all of that stuff. So poor Alphinius sits here and roasts like a grand, great turkey. Not even Christmas. Anyway, so my friends, I will tell you that the rest of the tale is going to be, I think, quite marvelous today. We have some other things to show. We're going to talk about a couple of gods, and then at the end we'll give you a little update on the conventions and such like that, which Elle will actually go over the list when we do our little interview with her. Anyway, Camera Mandy, you said you had something else you wanted to throw at me, as it were.
I just have some fun little things from around our Facebook group.
Yes.
So I'm going to start with this one. Tell us what this is.
Yeah, so this this was a gooby-gon or a goo-gon or a goo something or other, yes, that someone tried to spray upon me when we were having the stream, yes, and I believe it was you who actually tried to spray it upon me, Camera Mandy. And fortunately, by the way, notice my right arm there. I look quite burly. Yes, little definition there. Yes, this is from all those hard-working curls I do with the ale glass steins. Yes, this helps keep you strong. So do a lot of ale curls, and you'll get a good burly arm, as it were. Yes. So that's what that is.
Yes,
what else, Camera Mandy?
It did not work, unfortunately, on Alphinius Goo. On other types of goo.
I was going to say, what do you mean it didn't work?
It was quite effective.
And have to go back and do it again.
It was quite effective. Okay, so this was from yesterday.
Yes. The little impertinent hound, Lily. Yes, so this dog here, go ahead and flip back, Camera Mandy. This dog here is Camera Mandy's dog. Her name is Lily. Yes, and she is not very attractive. Most people who see her think she's, one of those ugly dogs. You know what I'm talking about? Little underbite, all of that kind of stuff. So anyway, but she is very dear. I must tell the truth. Lily is adorable and very sweet. And I do believe that she did take a pee right on my chair. And yes, I'm sitting in it.
That is not true. That did not happen. This is Queen Lily, and she is 100% Team Hat. We must make her stance known.
It doesn't matter. She's a dog. She cannot even talk.
Okay, and then this is our last thing from around this is actually from a few months ago.
Uh-huh.
So, this is pixel art.
Yes, this is our marvelous friend Jacob. Jacob, much love, my friend. Jacob made this marvelous little, and not just Alphinius, he did a number of others as well. And it's really adorable. It's really cute. And we're just so grateful in general to our incredible community, the wonderful people who are out there who love what we're trying to do and are participating in what we're trying to do. As you read the lore of Zyathé, you're going to learn about Torlak Silvermaw, who is Casey's character. You're going to learn about Jacob and Natalia Hartfox, who are Jacob's and Natalia's characters, right? You're going to learn about a host of interesting characters who are actually our people, right? So anyway, that Jacob, thank you. That was a marvelous little gift you sent our way when you did it. So that's what that was about. Way to break it out, Camera Mandy. I had no idea what you were going to throw on that third one.
I know. So just so you guys know, I want to feature more of your guys' stuff. And so we're going to start working through it every week. But if you have something cool like this, send it my way.
Well, we got all this stuff already in the office, right?
Yes.
We've got little Cubey over here, or is this little Gooby?
That's little Cubey.
Cubey is in the office, Gooby is in the studio. Yes, Cubey.
Yes.
So this little Cubey, Christina. We've got this goofy thing that our friend Harry put out. Yes, this thing. Yes, this is kind of an abomination, actually, right? We've got Michael Crawford sent us a hat early on, and there's Marvelous Tish made this wonderful stuffed winged animal. We've got shot glasses from Geeky. I mean, it's everywhere. There's stuff all over the place.
Go ahead and show that shot glass, the dice one.
The dice one.
Up to the close-up
I will
cam.
do that. I will put it right there. How about that, cameraman?
Nice.
Yes. Is that a good angle? Yes.
Tilt it down just a little bit. We're getting
Down,
some.
just
There
like
we
that?
go. So yeah, those are actual little dice inside that shot glass. How cool is that?
Isn't that wonderful? Marvelous,
Yes.
marvelous. Yes. Aha! Incredible. So we are having all kinds of wonderful things to show off, and they keep coming in. And thank you for all of those marvelous gifts. I shall remove this abomination
It's
from the
absolutely gorgeous, Harry. And we're going to be having Harry in the studio. What is it, next week?
Yes. So we have, of course, a number of people who did this Gooey immersion thing during the Kickstarter, and they are coming out for a weekend with us. We just had Casey and Tanya and Mark and Josh and Kaya. They came out, and we had a really wonderful time. We played a lot of games. We began our collaboration on adventure, but we didn't get that far. So we've got a lot of work to do after the fact, because we were so busy playing games and going out and having pizza and doing fun things that we didn't get it all done. So Harry, we're looking forward to seeing you, and Michelle, we're looking forward to seeing you. And we have others coming, I think, in August as well, who will come for the Gooey immersion. So I get another weekend of gaming if everything works out the way I'm hoping that it will work out. All right.
Incredible. So I think we are ready for our reading for today.
All right. So let us take ourselves to the Ventenium Alanax, which is this massive tome that I have before me. In fact, it stores incredible pages of massive pages of stuff, right? Because it is my laptop, yes. And cameraman, he doesn't like me to show it. That's why I show it, right? So if you remember, last time we learned about the gods actually discovering, after a long, long time, this flow that lives within the Zyanthus, right? And sort of the rift that was growing between the evil gods and the gods of lawfulness, and the gods of neutrality and the gods of goodness, right? And so that was where we had this rift, and then we talked about the whispers that were beginning. And the next chapter is called The Dawning of Strife. Dark touches of deeply malevolent thought slowly began to seep from the flow to haunt the dreams of the gods, afflicting their minds. For some, the vile mutterings had no effect and ceased shortly after beginning. But others were moved by their influence. The gods of evil, already enraged at the treatment of their peoples, were particularly susceptible to the seductive voices. Their hatred was deepened, and their desire for revenge grew within their hearts. Soon they began to withdraw from their godly brothers and sisters. As the evil gods secluded themselves, the whispers grew in intensity, even as their worshippers continued to decline and their powers further diminished. It was then that the anger of the gods of evil finally overflowed. In the shadows and quiet places of the abyss, they began to plot and scheme, to determine ways to regain their former place and stature, to exact vengeance against the perceived wrongs that had been inflicted upon them by the gods of neutrality and goodness. Their plans were dire. They began to craft all manner of strategies and war plots that might provide a chance at victory over their enemies. But no matter what they planned, they could see no way to overcome the forces of the Havenal and the Equissal realms. For what could they do with the might of both the good and neutral gods arrayed against them? Though the gods of evil were powerful, so too were the gods of goodness and neutrality, as the balance required. There was simply no path to which the gods of evil persuasion could achieve victory. But then, The whispering voices told them how they might use the Zyathés to gain power far beyond their peers, even beyond Alphinius himself. The next chapter is called The Fouling of Creation. And it came to pass that the gods of evil gave themselves fully over to the malevolent voices that whispered in their dreams. There simply was no resisting it. The promise of unfathomable power and dominion over the rest of the pantheon was too great a boon to resist. But even as they moved toward the darkest of their desires, the other gods witnessed their downcast behavior. Seeds of doubt had been planted in the souls of the remaining gods as they watched the pantheon straining. Fearing that their evil brethren might lash out, the gods of good worked to protect their dominions. They cast mighty spells of warding, prepared their deific charges for conflict, and girded themselves for war. As part of their preparations, they also constructed beings of titanic power to safeguard their hallowed halls and ward Zyathé against any potential aggression. The gods of neutrality likewise prepared for war, but as their desire was to avoid being drawn into any conflict, their constructs were different from those of the gods of good. Rather than imbuing their creations with vast reserves of power, the neutral gods blessed them with the opposite. An aura surrounded them that they would nullify magic that was manifested by the Zyathés, even the magics of the gods themselves. And so it was that the gods of good alignment gave rise to the Zythe, and the gods of neutrality created the Zythein. The Zythe were gargantuan beings, shaped from the very lifeblood of Zyathé. Their forms were reptilian in nature, but coated from head to tail in shimmering crystal. Runes that burned with the god's power glowed within the shining glassy surface of the Zythe's skin. The Zythein were made as living avatars of the elements themselves, almost without corporeal form. They were as earthquakes, tidal waves, volcanoes, and hurricanes. Wherever they went, their auras interrupted the flow and stopped the use of magic. And lo, the gods blessed their creations, the 3 Zythe and the 4 Zythein, splitting them between each of their pantheon citadels and the surface of Zyathé. But they were too late. And that is where we will stop for today, my friends, and we will continue in the next Goo Morning Zyathé, the next chapter, which is called The Great Betrayal. Ha-ha! All right, so now we're going to go sit in the studio with crazy Gooey Allie and crazy Gooey Elle. Yes, and Camera Mandy, of course, will be along for the ride, like she always is. Say, I'm coming along for the ride, Camera Mandy.
No.
Doggone
I'm
it.
just kidding. I'm coming along for the ride.
We'll see you in the studio. Ha-ha, my friends. Hello. We are in the studio at Gooey headquarters with Gooey Elle and Gooey Allie.
Hello.
Yes, and these are the 2 people who really keep everything going around here. Camera Mandy wants everyone to believe it's her, but it's really not. It's really Gooey Elle and Gooey Allie. So, I have to ask you all if you... Don't look at me like that, Camera Mandy. I don't like it. She's got that malicious hatter look on her face right now, and it's bothering me more than you can know. By the way, Christina! Ha-ha! The sword is sticking up, not laying down on little Cubey, or is it little Gooby? I don't know which one it is. One of these is Cubey, and one of them is Gooby. But
That one is
that one is
Gooey. Gooby.
Gooby. This is little Gooby, and the one in the office is little Cubey.
Yes.
Perfect. Christina sent us these. They are marvelous, are they not? So anyway, so I have a question for you, Elle.
Yes.
So now, we have got some things sitting in front of you, and both you and Allie have one of them, yes? So we can hold that up and see what this is, yes? So these are all shrunk wrapped and all squished in and all of that stuff, yes?
Yes, we have quite a few of them in the office. We just got our chapter 4 shipment.
So tell me what's going on with these. Give me a little background.
Well, I mean, by far they are the heaviest box that we have. They were so heavy that Allie and I needed help to get them inside. We have quite a few going out and even more coming in. But this is chapter 4.
Marvelous, marvelous. And Allie, you actually have helped assemble quite a few of these. Yes, you did this. So so tell me, when you were putting it together, tell me about did the lid close?
It was the hardest to close the lid, and it was the thing. That was the longest part about assembling it, was closing the lid.
Well, listen, here's the thing. you know, a lot of people when they do Kickstarters, right, they want to try to get everything out and try to, you know, not add to the mix after they've sort of done their thing. Well, you know, we're kind of crazy, so we added an entire like 40-some pages to chapter 4 after the Kickstarter was over. That's your fault, Alexander. It's all your fault. Yes, haha. Anyway, so let me ask a question. So really around here, you all do keep a lot of things going, and you all see them, pictures of them like in the Gooey Den and sometimes on the Discord and that kind of stuff, but you really don't know how much Allie and Elle in particular, and there are others here too, believe me, the Goo crew is magnificent, but Allie and Elle are like the cogs in the whole thing, right? So just tell a little bit about what you do on a daily basis, and then we'll give Allie a minute to do the same thing. So just give us a little rundown, right?
Okay.
Go ahead.
I mean, totally. On a daily basis, I tend to do a lot of the Gooey social media stuff, so I take care of all of that, the Gooey adventure games.
Yes, you are insulting me regularly as the Hatter group, right? You're part of that group.
I don't know what you're talking about. I did not bring in a hat specifically for today's interview.
But you wore one the entire time while our friends Casey and Josh and Tanya and Kaya were here. Yes, and Mark. Yes.
So I definitely keep the Gooey hat situation alive with Camera Mandy, of course. We take care of all the shipping. I mean, it's hard to talk about anything
all the
I
emails.
do that Allie doesn't do too.
That's
we
true,
do
right?
Emails. We do all of the shipping. We just cleaned out the back. It's lovely back there.
Yeah, it does look really good. So we do the emails, right? People write to us and ask us about, right? We have people like international people saying, hey, can you do this? So tell me a little bit about how we try to handle that best as we can. Because I know people, when they send emails to us, wonder, you know, hey, who's taking care of this and all that kind of stuff. So go ahead, you can tell me kind of what we do there.
We both kind of handle the emails.
Yeah, but you do the spreadsheets, keep track of all the stuff from the Kickstarter stuff?
Yes, I've made a big spreadsheet to keep track of everybody's orders, hopefully tracking what they've gotten already, what they should be getting, so hopefully everything's more organized now into the future.
That's fabulous. Well, also, Allie, we're getting ready to start actually shipping some stuff out. Yes, we're gonna. So we're gonna ship out some chapter 4s. Is that correct?
Yes.
Tomorrow, maybe.
Chapter 4s, dice, T-shirts. As you can see, Gooey Allie is wearing one.
Yes, and we are actually doing, folks don't know this, but we're actually doing a number of new T-shirt designs. Our Lolo, Marvelous Lolo, yes, is doing that. So there's a Gooey Grognard shirt. Yes, Scott, Gooey Grognard shirt is out there. And we have My Goo or Yours, right? That's that one that Camera Mandy really likes, right? Camera Mandy, My Goo or Yours, that's the perfect one.
I do not endorse
and we're going to reprise.
Do not endorse
We're going to
this.
reprise
No.
Got Goo. We're going to reprise Got Goo. Yeah? And the Goo and the Good, the Bad, and the Gooey. Yes, that
The
one.
Bad and the Gooey.
Right, and Something Gooey This Way Comes.
Yep, we just got a shipment of all of our old T-shirt designs. They just
Nice.
got in.
And we are, and for those of you who are wondering, we are bringing these to the Gen Con. Yes, you want to talk a little bit
we
about the
are.
party?
Yeah, I mean, we're getting really excited. We're about to start sending out invites and information, so keep an eye out. But we are throwing a sort of soiree. At
A soiree, yes, a soiree.
where you can hang out with Alphinius and a lot of the Goo crew. I mean, I'll be there. Gooey Allie's coming too.
You coming, Allie, to
I know
Gen Con
Camera
this year?
Mandy's going.
Nice.
It's gonna be.
Camera Mandy's coming.
I'm pretty sure.
Maybe I won't go.
Oh, don't be like that. We just, we want you to be there so we can give you a very special gift.
Yes, I know. There's these hats are planned.
I don't know what you're talking
yes,
about.
I
It's not a
see all
hat.
of your secret nefarious transactions and transcriptions.
Just saying,
yes.
finding a gooey green hat box has been difficult.
So the party is going to take place on Friday night, right? We're going to have a bunch of people get together, as many folks as want to who are Gooey. You're going to get an invitation in the email, so Elle is right. Keep your eye on that. And we're going to have food, and we're going to have drinks, and we're going to give away some T-shirts. In fact, we're going to give away quite a few T-shirts because pretty much anybody who is one of our Gooey people who comes to the party is going to get one. Now, you don't get one for your significant other, so if you bring a significant other, only you get the shirt. But we hope that we will give you a great time with the party in general. All right. So Allie, I got to ask you another question now. So. When you came here, now I want you to tell the truth now, right? So Allie didn't come to work. She came kind of to work with us at our agency, which is called Wicked Think, right? So this is how sort of Gooey Cube got spawned. And you didn't really know about all this.
No.
So do you want to tell a little bit about your experiences of figuring out about about all the nerds that you were surrounded with, yes?
I wouldn't say nerds, just fun people.
Oh, fun people, yes. This is it. It's very good. This is called sucking up to the boss, right?
Oh,
You can't call your boss a nerd. You can't call your boss a nerd. So listen, we are kind of geeky though, right? We'll admit the truth, right? So like Mike's office, right, is you want to describe Mike's office for our studio audience?
A storage unit.
It's a storage unit. What is all in there? Yes.
All this.
All of this stuff, like all the stuff that's on the table, all of the marvelous dwarven forge stuff, all thousands of painted miniatures. Yes, and this is but a small portion of my collection.
Yes.
Every time he builds one, we have to spend a day cleaning it up. That's part of our job.
Aha, yes. So, Allie, you have seen the program on TV called Hoarders. Yes, you've heard of this. So, do you ever think of that when you think about all my stuff?
I don't know. At least you're a little organized.
An organized hoarder, so it isn't like just piled up everywhere. You know, that's actually because of Ms. Goo. Ms. Goo is the organizer. Yes. Hold on, cameraman, you have to dab. Thank you very much. You know, it's hot in the studio. I keep requesting some air conditioning, but it never happens. All right. So tell me, what do you love? Because I know you do about working with Gooey Cube, because we have such a great community. I know what you talked about this. Go ahead.
I mean, I loved the game a lot.
Well, tell us
So-
what, you know, before you do this.
Yes.
Tell us what happened, because you got hired to do something totally
That's
different,
true.
and then I commandeered you, right? This
That's
is what.
fair.
All right, tell us this tale.
So once upon a time, camera Mandy and I actually met at a photography shop that I was working at before here. And she was talking about this cool place she worked at, and I was so excited that I worked up the nerve to ask her if they were hiring. And then I sent her my resume, and she, you know, we talked a little bit, and she sent it on to you guys. And the thing that drew everybody about me was that in my resume it said I play Dungeons and
Yes,
Dragons.
Dungeons and Dragons was part of her resume. Yes, I do not recommend that for all of your job interviews out there, but for us it was perfect. Keep going.
And so I got really lucky. They brought me in for an interview, and I remember on my first day they had that massive dungeon set up, the big one that there's a video of on YouTube. And I was trying to secretly take pictures of it on my phone the whole time I was waiting for my interview, because I was like, guys, you are never gonna guess what I just saw. And so I got really lucky, and we had a quick interview, and I was really blessed to get to join the team here. I definitely never thought I would be doing as much of this game in my job, because I was hired to be camera Mandy's assistant and doing photography and lots of media stuff. And then Kim kidnapped me. Alphinius kidnapped me.
Yeah,
really.
Kim had nothing to do with it.
Alphinius Goo kidnapped me, and I became a part of the Goo crew.
Yes. But Camera Mandy, she still helps you. Yes, she still helps you. Camera Mandy.
That was a quiet silence.
You know what? I don't know if she's even still there. She might have walked out of the room stomping or something like that. But Allie, you were actually studying to be like an accountant or something like that, yes?
Yes, I got my major in finance.
Yeah, I major in finance. Then you come to work for a bunch of nerds at a game company, yes? So you have played now, yes? Once before or not? You just made a character.
I have tried. I almost started with Elle.
Almost started with me.
Okay. So we're gonna have to have a game around here, yes, and get you sort of immersed into this weirdness, right? Well, my friends, so this is sort of the backbone of Gooey Cube, and I can't thank them more than the bottom of my heart, truly, and all of us from the bottom of our hearts, because while you're getting your stuff in the mail, and if there's a mistake, how quickly they're trying to respond and take care of mistakes, all of the things that happen, plus setting up things, playing in adventures. We just had a marvelous, did we not have a marvelous time with, I mentioned them earlier, but Casey and Mark and Tanya and Kaya and Josh, and we just had a great time, yes?
Oh, so much time. I mean, it was like amazing. They were so much fun to play with. I'm never gonna forget my little, hat.
Yes,
moment.
I remember your hat
But
moment as well, yes.
It's all right, guys. We're getting there.
So anyway, what happened was we had the Gooey Immersion, which some marvelous people really came out and spent a lot of money to come to Gooey headquarters and play and collaborate on some adventures and have some special collectibles made and some other things like that. And really for everyone who helped us with the Kickstarter, I say it again and again, I say it more. You really helped us in a year when it could have been really difficult, given the circumstances with COVID and all that stuff. So I am inoculated and ready to go to Gen Con and every con there before or thereafter, right? So we're gonna go do that. We're gonna have our party, right? And then I guess, we got Dragon Con. Elle, do you want to do that real quick? Because Elle also has been working mostly on planning these conventions, right? So go ahead, tell them about which ones we're going to.
Well, so just off the top of my head, and bear with me because there's so many things
I'll try and
going
remember
on.
and help too.
I believe we'll be at Colorado Springs Comic-Con coming up in August. We've got Dragon Con, Gen Con.
And that Dragon Con's in Atlanta.
Yes, I believe so. Then we have Gen Con. I know that we have Game Hole Con this year in Dallas.
Are we going to All Con?
I think All Con is on our list.
And Emerald City.
Sure.
Yes,
Emerald City is our final of
Yes,
the year.
Matthew will be seeing you, and all the rest of you crazy Northwesterners, out there will be seeing you.
Yep.
And then Genghis Con in the beginning of next year.
Yep,
yes.
Genghis, and we're looking towards a couple more in the next year as that starts to roll back out.
Yeah. So that's exciting. All right. Well, anything else you want to say, Allie? You want to tell anything to these gooey people out there, like stop sending mean emails or anything? Actually, nobody sends mean emails. You all are wonderful. So
They really don't. Everybody's so nice, and I appreciate that. We do have a lot of orders that we have to deal with, so I appreciate being nice. And I love seeing your guys' posts and you guys getting your items. That makes me feel loved, because that's what we do. So.
Well, I agree with you, Allie. When folks put up stuff and say thanks for sending it, and you also you all are really good about if there's something, the post office drops a box or something like that and damages stuff. We just send them a new thing. Yes, what we do. Yeah. So, all right. Anything you want to say before we sort of end this segment?
Thank you guys so much, because we do everything to make you guys happy. So we love when everybody is happy. You guys have been great. So yeah.
All right. So we will leave this segment and move on to whatever camera Mandy has planned next. Ha! May all your adventures be sticky. Hello, my friends. We are back. And today, as part of this segment of Goo Morning Zyathé, this is going to be something we're going to do on a consistent basis. We're not just going to profile a god and a race. We're actually going to profile maybe a monster as well. Now, I want to tell you ahead of time, before we go into this, that we're not giving away stats and powers and all of that kind of stuff, because the monsters we are creating are actually, many of them, I would say about half, are from our submissions from our wonderful contributors. And there are some great ones that we're going to be showing as we continue on with the program. The first one, however, is one of my creations. It is called the Vlyon. And the Vlyon lives on the Verdestian continent. And it is a two-tailed, saber-toothed kind of a creature with stripes and horns, and actually has some little magical power innate within itself. So I think you're going to love the Vlyon. I think your players are going to be afraid of them. And the marvelous thing about it is, right, these are new monsters that your players have never experienced or never encountered. And of course, that gives the wonderment of discovery, right, as they do that. Plus, as you all know, with our monsters in Zyathé, we are not sort of level dependent. So, monsters have sort of a level range that they can be within, which makes sense in the truth of the world, right? So the Vlyon, I think, is marvelous. I think you're going to love it. And actually, I think it won the vote to appear on the cover of the Cyclopedia Monstrica Volume 1, which is for Verdestia. So there it is right there. I really, really love that monster. All right. So what are we doing next, cameraman? Are we doing the gods or are we going to do the Sarth?
Why don't we go ahead and do the gods?
All right. So we are going to actually talk about two gods today. The first is Dale, and Dale is the god of trading and deals and contracts and all kinds of interactions in commerce and all of that kind of stuff. And so for guilds and for business people and for those who are doing lots of trading and that kind of stuff, Dale tends to be pretty high up on the list. As I have mentioned before, with the gods of Zyathé, it is not like one person is sort of affiliated only with only one god, right? They believe in all of the gods, all 72 of them, and give homage to many of them. In fact, you might even if you are a good person, there might be a time when you might give homage to an evil god to try to ask them to not do something bad, right? So this exists. So Dale is a marvelous god. I encourage you to look him up in the Cyclopedia Zyathica. and Volume 1, The Weirded World, and see what's going on in there. And I think you will find Dale to be most intriguing. So here it is. This is the Cyclopedia Zyathica Volume 1, The Weirded World. And all of the 72 gods are reprised herein. And so this is worth a little peek. There's not, pages upon pages about each deity. There's just enough for you to really sink your teeth into and be able to understand it, and not have to read all kinds of an essay about said god. The second god that we are going to talk about is the god Evoke. And Evoke is called the Bright Lady. Now, there are three particular gods that exist in Zyathé that are affiliated or associated with the Zyanthus. And there is much mystery around them. And in fact, there are tales to come that you don't even know yet if you've read the lore. Evoke is the lady of the bright magic. Infiorni is the lord of the prismatic magic, right? And Sha'ada, she is the lord of the dark magic. And this is different from what the Zyanthus was originally, when all three of the flows sort of ran together as one. All right? And so Evoke is now sort of the overseer of this light magic. And she is affiliated with the gods of goodness. And so that circumstance has led some sages to believe that Evoke and Infiorni and Sha'ada have secret agendas that might all run congruent with each other, even though one is good and one is neutral and one is evil. But that, my friends, is a tale still in the telling. Aha! All right, my friends, so now let us talk about the Sarth. So the Sarth are one of my most favored races. They are quite interesting. They are very tall people, somewhere around 7 foot or so tall on average. And fairly long-limbed and tall and lanky, right? They are more thin people. Now, the Sarth are very interesting because a number of gods collaborated in the creation of the Sarth, and as part of that collaboration, they went to the Lord of Fire, the elemental sovereign, as they are called in Zyathé, in the world, in the Eterniverse. So they went to the elemental sovereign of Fire and asked for the elemental sovereign of Fire's blessing upon the Sarth people. Now, interestingly, the elemental sovereign of Fire said no, and would not participate in the creation of the Sarth. As such, the Sarth were put onto the face of Zyathé and ended up being the only race in the entire world, in fact, the only creature that we know of in the entire world that is insensate to arcane magic. Now, that does not mean that arcane magic does not work upon them. It means that they cannot manipulate the Zyanthus to create arcane magic. Yes, so this is the Sarth, and this is the wonderful mystery around them. And of course, some of you who've been checking out stuff we've been putting up in the Gooey Den and in the Discord of late have seen that there is another race that it would appear is possibly associated with the elemental sovereign of Fire. But that also is a tale still in the telling. In any case, the Sarth have wonderful classes that are associated with them because of this insensate to arcane magic circumstance, right? So they have flowcasters that actually use what are called flow staves that are imbued with flow stones, which are magic incarnate in this stone form, right? This gem form. And they can actually use that to cast magics. They also are the people who created Fusils and the Fusiliers. And these are sort of, for lack of a better term, they are magical firearms in the world of Zyathé. But they do not shoot projectiles with gunpowder. Indeed, they do not. They fire magical forces of various types and various options, depending on the Fusilier's capabilities, level, and the quality of their Fusil. So this is marvelous. Now, another thing about the Sarth that is interesting is because of their insensiteness, their insensitivity, their lack of ability to have any kind of interaction with arcane magic in the way that most other beings can, they are also the only beings on the face of the planet that can cut flow stones and make them usable by others. So this is marvelous lore around the Sarth, and they are, for obvious reasons, many people's favorites and great interest in them. And we have done much artwork on them that you are seeing as so many wonderful images. And I hope you love our artwork, my friends. You know, it's so many wonderful images that we have tried to create to give vision to the world. And so I love the Sarth people. This is one I really love right there, Camera Mandy, which you have up right now, which is this beautiful Sarth flowcaster with this image of power and strength. You know, she's just wonderful. So anyway, that is the Sarth people. If you have a moment, look into the Cyclopedia Zyathé, Volume 1, The Weirded World, and you can read up a little bit on the Sarth.
Can you tell our viewers a little bit about who this is and why she's special?
So that's Neftalia, yes, and she is one of the pre-generated characters in Chapter 1 of the Red Star Rising campaign, which is called The Darkest Dream. And she is very interesting and very special and one of my favorites. Yes, indeed.
And basically a goddess.
Well,
my friend plays her.
I don't know that she's a goddess. She's kind of.
I said basically a goddess.
She's basically like first or second, maybe third.
Yes,
level.
she is a first level goddess.
Yes, she's not really a goddess. Yes, good try, Camera Mandy.
I'm just saying, in terms of she is gorgeous. She has lots of skills. She's incredible. She's a really fun. Dory plays her.
Yes,
it's really fun for her to play.
We love Neftalia, to be sure.
Absolutely.
So anyway, Camera Mandy, I think that is it for the show today for Goo Morning Zyathé, yes?
It is not, because we actually have your GM tips that you need to introduce.
So, Camera Mandy, I guess the next thing we need to do is to do this GM tip thing that we're doing. So I'm about to switch back to the studio, but what we're going to do with these GM tips is really do things that are more what I would call advanced GM tips. Well, with the more basic stuff, we're doing that in our videos. But we're going to try to bring to the table things to think about that maybe folks who have been game mastering for a while haven't thought about as much, and how you might be able to add to your game mastering. Now, I'm going to tell you the truth. Many of you may have heard some of these ideas, or maybe you have them already in place at your table. So I can't guarantee that we'll give you something to learn every time, but we're going to do our best to give you something to think about every time, at least in that regard. All right, let's go to the studio.
My dearest, I regret that I must leave on a matter of great importance. I regret even further that I cannot wish you goodbye in person, but the urgency requires that I leave immediately. I will so miss your sweet smile and your embrace. Go to the old well. Take the key hidden in the music box. I placed it in the secret niche in the room where we would spend our nights together. This coin will open the niche and find the door where lies the fool's delight. You fool. You have been gone so long. Gone so long. The room is at the Fool's Errand. It is room 7C. Go see what you find. Do not be noticed. That was intended for me more than a year ago. How it ended up in the floor. Probably Comber, who's a fool too. What have you done, my fool?
Did you ever receive this, or you had never seen it?
I've never seen this before. I thought he just left. That is not necessarily out of keeping with his character. But now I know he did not leave without a purpose, at least. Yes. Go to room 7C. See what you find. Bring it back to me.
We hope that brings you some comfort in your loss.
Thank you.
Ready, Mandy? Are you ready? Mandy, are you ready? I can't quite see. Are you ready? Oh, yes. Thumbs up. Yes, everyone. Hi, I'm Kim, and I've been game mastering for about 40 years, and Mandy wants me to do some more advanced game master tips, not sort of the basic stuff that we do in our video series. And so I'm gonna try to do that during these Gooey streams, which we call Goo Morning Zyathé. So this will be the first one, and I cannot underscore this to you enough. First of all, the number one rule of every game master, advanced or beginner, is to be prepared. I've done a whole video on that and why that's important. I literally run games without really looking at notes very much at all, other than battle stats. And the reason why I can do that is because I'm prepared. But that's not what I want to talk about. What I want to talk about is something totally different. I want to encourage you, absolutely, as a game master, to get out of your comfort zone. I want to tell you to not be afraid, to stand up and walk over to the player next to you. Can you see this, Mandy? Can you see this? Can you see this?
Yes.
Nice. She can see this. Look at the player in front of you and be the orc. Right? All right, Mandy, I'm moving back. Yes? Don't be afraid to be effusive. Don't be afraid to play the characters. Don't be afraid to be boisterous and aggressive and also meek and demure, right? Because you're playing all of these characters that are existing in the game. And part of the experience of playing these characters that exist in the game is bringing them to life. And to bring them to life, you have to act a little bit. And for those of you who are a little bit shy, I want to tell you, I was never shy, but I have met game masters who were. I've met game masters who were quite shy, and that they still are not afraid to kind of get out of their comfort zone, be a little boisterous, be a little loud, and bring that energy and that to the table that really makes the game more fun for your players. Truly, you have to understand this. Your player's energy feeds off your energy as a game master. And you have to know that and be intentional about bringing it to the table every night. I'm gonna tell you another secret. There's some nights I don't have it. Even when I was younger, there's some nights I don't got it. And I have literally said to my players on those nights, hey, listen, let's not play tonight. Let's bust out a game of Talisman or play Dungeon Quest or whatever it happens to be. You know, Fool's Down, right? Little nerd poker. And I want to tell you that for me, sometimes that's re-energizing. It builds more energy back into me because I don't feel like on a night when I just don't got it, I've got to grind through it. So that's my tip. My tip for you, get out of your comfort zone. Don't be afraid to act. Don't be afraid to be boisterous. Bring that energy to the table and you will be rewarded with energetic players back to you. Okay? All right, my friends, that is it for Goo Morning Zyathé. Yes, our third installment. It's amazing. It's incredible. I don't know about any of those things, but it is at least fun. So I hope you're having a good time. Please tell your friends about our show. Hopefully you're gaining information and all that kind of stuff. I do need to talk about the Kickstarter real quick and just make sure everybody knows. We are beginning shipping Chapter 4. We are beginning shipping the Westford Estia book. We are beginning shipping Gooey Dice. We are beginning shipping t-shirts and a bunch of other stuff. And we are actually going to lay out tomorrow on a Strangely Gooey holiday. Marvelous Rob helped us with that one. Thank you, Rob. And we think you are going to be very impressed with that little side quest module. So there's lots of stuff happening. Keep your eyes in the den. We'll keep posting and telling you what's going on, and keep throwing up information as we continue to go forward. And that's all I can think of for today, Cameramandy. So have a wonderful rest of your weekend, my friends, and may all your adventures be sticky. Ha ha!